Lexis Create. Legal writing made easy.
Lexis Create is our next generation document creation and enhancement tool, which changes the way that lawyers engage and interact with their essential materials. And it acts as the single hub for legal drafting to help you work faster, smarter, and with more confidence without leaving the Microsoft environment. So how's within Microsoft Word? If we click on the icon towards the top, it then opens down the right-hand side. And our LexisNexis UX team have developed the product in line with Microsoft design principles, meaning the user can utilize muscle memory from existing Microsoft products, reducing the need for training. So you can see we've got 3 clear steps down the right-hand side: build, check, and complete. And when it comes to the design of the solution, we've built it to map to a very simplified version of a lawyer's workflow to again help with that intuitive element. So if we lead with the build section, you can see we've got a couple of options within here: calculators and content. So I've got my example document open on screen. If I was working through that, I might wish to amend some of the clauses contained within it, either by using or sharing my own knowledge, or alternatively integrating LexisNexis content into my work. And this is something we can do via the content button. So typically lawyers will have their favorite reusable knowledge. It could be clauses or templates, but they might be saved in emails or desktops or various other locations, which just means that A, it takes time for the individual to track down, and B, it's not readily available for others to use as well. So this content functionality gives you a clause bank within Word, allowing you to create, save, control, search, and access your own personal snippets bank, ensuring you can collaborate effectively and achieve consistency efficiently. So it's all displayed on the same page for ease of use, and we can search via the bar at the top. And by clicking into the drop down, we can choose where we focus our search. So all snippets allows us to view our own, and these are useful paragraphs of text. So clauses, but also drafting in a letter or a statement that we might wish to reuse. We can also view the shared ones, as well as accessing content from Lexis PSL. And if we did wish to make use of any of these, all we need to do is drop our cursor in the document, hit the insert button, and it adds it straight in. So we've focused on trying to reduce the number of unnecessary clicks. It's a similar process for the Lexis PSL ones as well. So we can hit that insert button, but we've also got the option to hit open and go straight in to Lexis PSL at the relevant point to view any associated drafting notes, etc. And just as easily, we can also add our own content to this clause bank. So if I highlight a particular piece of text here, if I thought this could be useful in future, all I need to do is highlight it, click the add snippet button, and it prompts me for a title, tags. We can amend the text, as well as add in any additional notes too. And towards the bottom, we've got the option around approval, so we can select relevant approvers to OK it first, as well as choosing where we wish to save it to. So I can make it available just for me, for all departments, or alternatively for specific departments too. The other part of the build piece is around our calculators, so a really popular part of the online offering. Again, we've made some of the most frequently used ones available within Word to reduce that context switching. So basic calculators, currency converters. If I look at the date-to-date example, I can just fill in the relevant boxes. We can see all that information side by side with our work without having to step away. The next section we have is focused around the checking element. So if we click into here, you can see we break this down into 3 clear sections: analyze, review, and refine. So straight away, it just allows us to clearly and easily separate functions or delegate parts of the checking process dependent on our role. So firstly, analyze. This draws together some of the potential legal risks within our document around definitions, citations, or other inconsistencies. So firstly, we have incomplete information. This is just focused on any placeholders that might have been left behind within our work. So it looks for square brackets or repeated X's, little things which can sometimes slip through, but not always the easiest to spot. We also look for definition issues too. So within here, we can filter down on the types of issues that are more of a concern to us. So maybe some of the quality issues where definitions are out of alphabetical order. Alternatively, we can focus on some of the more legally risky ones where definitions are either not found or not used. Finally, within this section, I'll just draw you to the citation. So if we do make any references to UK legislation or case law within our work, we find those and match them back to our Lexis Library database and almost apply a traffic light rating to the results. And from here, we can also follow the hyperlinks straight into Lexis Library for any additional information. Outside of the Analyze section, we also have the Review one, so looking at the core information within our work, as well as summarising definitions and cross-references. We also look for that key bespoke detail, so negotiable amounts, as well as identifiable information. The sort of detail which is likely to change between work. If somebody reuses an old document as a starting point, it just lessens that risk of old names and information carrying through. And then finally, we have the refine section. So looking at some of the issues more from a quality perspective. So those around formatting, numbering, small things which can slip through the net, but can impact confidence and personal branding as well. And then finally, we have the complete section. So these are some of the tools that can hopefully help at the closing stages of your work. So at the top of the list, we've got redaction. So if you were required to remove any personal identifiable information from your documents, A, it can be quite a cumbersome task, but B, it carries quite a degree of risk within there. So within here, we'll summarize all those entities. You then have the option to either redact them individually or alternatively redact everything that Lexis Create has identified. We also have the reporting function too, so this is linked heavily to the checking section, but you can select relevant categories you wish to report back on, and when you produce them, they appear within a separate standalone Word document, which makes it easy to share with colleagues, but is also useful for reviewing incoming documents too. We then have a couple of finalization options. So the finalize one itself allows you to remove any hidden metadata that Lexis Create might have added. We also have our final checks too. So a last minute double check just to make sure that everything within our document has been completed. And then at the very bottom, we have our connection to DocuSign. So it just allows you to log in there and access the relevant features whilst side by side with your work. So hopefully that's given you a good flavour of how you can build and validate legal documents faster and more accurately without that need for context switching, ultimately saving you time and effort whilst also reducing risk.